Hey friends, I'm so glad you're here with me today. I'm Tiana, and I am an abstract pour painter that creates fluid art inspired by the farm life. So hold on to your horses. I will show you in a moment what I mean by that. But just to give you a little background, if you're new to my channel, I grew up on my family's farm in southern Wisconsin. My inspiration photo lives behind me all the time of my brother and I in the valley of our farm, which is really the heart of our farm. And we raise beef cattle, we grow corn and soybeans, row crops, and then we also have 11 acres of vineyards that we partner with a local winery with. So my purpose in life is to help tell the story of agriculture, the people in it, and where your food comes from in a creative way. It's been really my passion growing up in agriculture. Mother Nature's paintbrush and caring for the land is literally in my lifeblood for generations. So it is a privilege to bring those scenes and that inspiration to life on the canvas. And today we are going to create a scene that I just cannot get out of my head right now. I recently took some drone shots of our farm and our valley at sunset after we had a fresh, beautiful blanket of snow. And I'm gonna try to recreate that imagery here on the canvas today. So I chose a pretty large canvas because we're gonna have lots of colors going on. So I would love lots of room to play. I really appreciate you being here to listen to the stories that I have to tell and the scenes that I'll be bringing to life in my channel. Be sure to give that channel button a subscribe and feel free to comment, ask me questions. I would love to hear what you think about my process and what you want to know more about. So the style of painting that I'm going to do to capture these colors in an abstract nature, I like to call it a tree ring pour, but really it's just layered dirty cups of paint. So colors that all go into the cup before they go on the canvas. And I just layer the colors in different orders and then place them on the canvas and tip it around. So I am going to start by trying to create some of the snow colors because I think that honestly to me is probably going to be the more challenging set of colors to capture with depth because again, it's snow, it's white, but I really want to be able to have a little bit of variation movement going on here too. So I already have a drip on the canvas, but don't worry, it'll get covered up. So again, titanium white. I'm going to also make sure I use lots of this Mayspring white pearl. Again, like winters in Wisconsin, man. I mean, yes, they are everything you hear about in the Midwest. It gets to be -10, -20 degrees, and then it starts to feel like -30 with the wind chill. But it can be really beautiful too. What I love about abstract art, though, is that it doesn't need to be perfect. What I'm doing here is taking inspiration from a scene and colors and bringing it to life in an abstract, fluid sense. That was one of the hardest lessons, honestly, that I had to learn when I first started pour painting is to let go of the idea or expectation of perfection or a vision that I had in my mind. Because the second I try to control it too much, it all goes to moot. So lots of life lessons to be had too within creating abstract art. Okay, so I have 4 cups of the white for the snow. Now let's go on to the fun part, the sunset inspired color. So I'm going to start to use some of these warmer colors. And with this one, I think I really do want to be pretty specific in having a gradient because obviously from like the point of view of the horizon up to the sky, you think about a sunset gradient that way, but really trying to stick with the warmest colors I've got. So we're just going to do small amounts of this over time just because I really do want a pretty smooth gradient between the colors. The order of which I'm choosing to do this to matters. So I'm putting the darkest colors into the bottom of the cup first. And that's on purpose because otherwise then when it comes out of the cup, it's going to come out in reverse order. All right. Now comes the fun part. We're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it and let it flow. this type of pour too, I do want some clean lines between the colors and especially between the cups that I'm pouring. So I really don't hold it that far off the canvas, because the further off the canvas I hold it, the more velocity there is, and then therefore like the more mixing of colors that goes on. Oh, I like where this is going already. So you can kind of see like there's a gradient here where it's not such a jarring transition from one color to the next. How about we do one snow puddle in the middle here? I do think this black is going to add some pretty cool depth and interesting perspective, I guess. Just kind of like shadows do in a sunset. Let's do one more over here. I'm going to pour one of these sunset colors out, just one to see like what comes out of the cup. And two, if I place those where I want my colors, then I can kind of come back in with the rest of the snow colors and strategically place that if I feel like there are any gaps. So here comes the snow color. So you can see how that light color is the first one out of the cup of this one. So again, I layered it dark to light when I started pouring them in, and it'll come out of the cup in the opposite manner. Ooh, here comes some of that yellow and the pink. For this one, I'm actually gonna try to make a little bit of a succinct pattern coming out of the cup. Oh, there's that gold that's in there. That's really beautiful. Wow. Okay, I'm getting a little excited about this. Okay, one more. We have a couple puddles of the snow. The snow colors just strategically placed around. Okay, so before I start to tilt the canvas, and once I've got the paint on here, especially with this type of pour, which I just call a tree ring pour, I made it up. I like to just look at the perspective and the balance of things to decide which way I want to tip the canvas first. So we've got a lot of paint over here. I want to keep this color. These beautiful colors are starting to come out, especially with like the gold and the cells starting here. I want to keep as much of that on the canvas that I can. So I think I'm actually going to tip it off to the bottom right here. So moment of truth. Here we go. Again, this is kind of where I have to let go of my expectation of reality. And I have done everything that I can to plan the colors, plan the pour, the style of pour. And now it's really just kind of up to the paint to decide how it wants to come to life today. Obviously, there is a little bit of a technique and a method to the madness here. I tend to go from corner to corner when I pour paint around the canvas. And when I decide what direction to go, I try to just follow the weight of the paint. And again, let it go where it wants to go for the day. Oh, now I'm going to tip it back this way. Good. Awesome. Oh, I am so obsessed with this color palette. Okay, before I get too much further, this is starting to roll over on itself, and I want to keep as much color up on the top side as I can. So I am just going to improvise here a little bit and pour a little paint pillow down in this corner. On a dry canvas, the paint obviously like rolls over the top of itself as it's going along. Sometimes that's okay, and I usually don't care too much about it, but if there is something here like where like I want to keep these cells and that beautiful color as much as I can, this little type of paint pillow can help it flow just a little bit easier. A lot of times as I'm doing multiple pieces in a short amount of time, I'll keep the drippings of paintings that I do and mix them up together, and then thin it out just a little bit, and that becomes kind of like a flow extender, and I can do that too to pour on the canvas to do this exact same thing so that I make the most of the resources that I have. Okay, so problem solved there. We're going to keep tipping because hopefully now that paint pillow is there, that color is going to stay put as much as it possibly can. Down. I'm going to bring the weight, I think, a little bit more towards the center now. And I've just got this one last little part of the canvas to cover up. Okay, success. We have complete coverage of the canvas. At this point, this is also when I take a step back and I look at perspective, and quite honestly, I really like where this balance is at because the colors are kind of like in the rule of thirds sort of position. I love all the white space that's going on in here from that like fresh blanket of snow. The colors aren't overpowering. There's some of that shadow work going on with that black here and the gray over here, the pewter. I don't know if I want to mess with this too much. If anything, I might tip it back just a little bit towards the center again. Yeah. Okay. I'm very happy with this. I'm just gonna clean up the edges here and the corners, make sure I've got paint all around all corners and all edges of the canvas. I just go through with a gloved hand and do that. Oh my goodness. I am like beyond thrilled. I am beyond thrilled and happy with this piece. This is probably one of my favorites I've done in quite a while. I love the movement of it, and yeah, it makes me think of home. What I love again about abstract art is that it doesn't need to be a picture perfect representation of the scene that inspired it. It is the essence that pulls it out, and that emotion and that memory and the colors within it, and brings it to life in a unique perspective in a way that is maybe unexpected or nobody's thought of before. So thanks for stopping by the studio with me today and watching this piece come to life. If you want to see more of these types of videos and behind the scenes process of my fluid art inspired by the farm life, please give my channel a subscribe. Please also feel free to comment below and let me know what you thought of this video, what questions you have, and anything that you want to see next too, because I hope to make many more of these types of videos bringing you along on this journey of my passion for agriculture and how I creatively bring that to life in my studio. So thanks for being here today.